the top 10 countries with the largest armies in 2024. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal, Top Best, back to talk about, well, the top and the best. Today we're diving into the complex world of global military power. In this video, we're exploring the top 10 countries with the largest armies in 2024. So, if you're ready to learn more about the global military landscape and the countries that shape it, buckle up. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this in the future. Now let's get started. China, the sleeping giant awakens. Alright folks, let's kick things off with the heavyweight champion of military manpower, China. With a staggering 2.3 million active duty personnel, the People's Liberation Army, or PLA, is larger than the next three largest armies combined. China's been investing heavily in modernizing its military, pouring resources into developing advanced weaponry, from hypersonic missiles to aircraft carriers. This massive military buildup is a clear sign that China's ready to flex its muscles on the global stage. China's got a long history and a huge landmass to defend, not to mention its growing economic interests around the world. Plus, there are those territorial disputes in the South China Sea. By building up their military, China is sending a message to the world: don't mess with us. Of course, this rapid military expansion has made some folks pretty nervous, especially in the West. But China insists that its intentions are purely defensive. Whether you buy that argument or not, one thing is clear. China's military rise is one of the most significant developments in global affairs today. The United States, a global superpower. The United States is synonymous with military might. With an active duty force of about 1.3 million, the U.S. military is a force to be reckoned with. The U.S. spends more on defense than any other nation, known for cutting-edge technology, from stealth bombers to predator drones. But it's not just about the toys. The U.S. military is also known for its highly trained personnel and global power projection. With bases all over the world, they can deploy troops and equipment globally on short notice. This global presence has made the U.S. both admired and feared. Whether you agree with their foreign policy or not, the U.S. military is a major player on the world stage, and its influence is likely to continue for the foreseeable future. Up next, we're heading to South Asia, where two nuclear-armed rivals are locked in a tense standoff. India, a rising power in South Asia. At number 3, we've got India, a country that's been rapidly expanding its military in recent years. With a population of over 1.4 billion people, India has a massive pool of potential recruits. And they put those recruits to work, building an army of about 1.4 million active duty personnel. India shares a long and often disputed border with China. Then there's Pakistan, India's neighbor to the west. They fought multiple wars over the disputed territory of Kashmir. India feels the need to be prepared for pretty much anything. They've been investing heavily in their military capabilities, modernizing their equipment, and expanding their training programs. They also want to project power in the Indian Ocean region and become a major player on the global stage. With their growing economy and increasingly powerful military, they're well on their way to achieving those goals. Now, this next one is a bit of a wild card. Coming in at number 4, it's North Korea, a country that's about as secretive as they come. Despite facing crippling economic sanctions, North Korea has built one of the largest standing armies on the planet. We're talking about an estimated 1.28 million active duty personnel. Military service is mandatory for both men and women. They've got a lot of outdated equipment, much of it dating back to the Cold War. But what they lack in sophistication, they make up for in sheer numbers. They've also got a substantial arsenal of ballistic missiles. The Kim dynasty sees their military as the ultimate guarantor of their power. They've adopted a military-first policy, pouring resources into their armed forces. At number 5, we've got a country that's been in the news a lot lately, Russia. With an estimated 1 million active duty personnel, Russia has the 5th largest military in the world. They've been pretty busy in recent years, flexing their military muscles in places like Syria. Russia's military has a long and storied history, dating back to the days of the Tsarist Empire. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union emerged as a global military superpower. In recent years, Russia has been working hard to modernize its armed forces, investing in new weapons systems and upgrading its existing equipment. They've also been involved in high-profile military exercises, showcasing their capabilities to the world. Russia wants to reassert their influence in their near abroad, the former Soviet republics. They're not afraid to use military force to achieve their goals, as we've seen in recent years. Coming in at number 6 is Turkey, a country that straddles the line between Europe and Asia. With a military of around 743,000 active-duty personnel, Turkey has the largest standing army in NATO after the United States. Turkey's geographic location has always made it a strategically important country. It controls the Bosporus and Dardanelles Straits, which connect the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. In recent years, Turkey has been modernizing its military, investing in new weapon systems and expanding its domestic arms industry. They've also been focusing on developing their drone capabilities, and they've had some impressive successes in that area. But Turkey's military ambitions have also caused some concern among its NATO allies. Their increasingly close ties with Russia have raised some eyebrows in Western capitals. At number 7 we have Pakistan, a country with a long history of military rule and a complex relationship with its neighbor, India. With an active-duty force of around 653,000 personnel, Pakistan has the 7th largest military in the world. Pakistan's military has played a significant role in the country's history. They've staged multiple coups, overthrowing civilian governments and ruling the country directly for extended periods. Pakistan's military is also heavily involved in the country's economy. They own and operate a vast network of businesses, from banks and shipping companies to cement factories and fertilizer plants. Pakistan's rivalry with India is the defining feature of its foreign policy. Both countries possess nuclear weapons, adding another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. Coming in at number 8, it's another country that's no stranger to military tensions, South Korea. With an active-duty force of around 625,000 personnel, South Korea has the 8th largest military in the world. South Korea's military is a product of the Cold War. After the Korean War ended in 1953, South Korea faced a constant threat from its communist neighbor to the north. Today, South Korea has one of the most technologically advanced militaries in the world. They've got everything from cutting-edge fighter jets and tanks to sophisticated missile defense systems. The situation on the Korean peninsula remains tense, with North Korea continuing to develop its nuclear weapons program. South Korea knows that it can't let its guard down. At number 9 we have Iran, a country that's been at odds with the United States and its allies for decades. With an active-duty force of around 523,000 personnel, Iran has the 9th largest military in the world. Iran's military is a complex and multifaceted force. It consists of 2 main branches, the regular army known as the Artesh and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC. The IRGC is a separate branch of the armed forces that's directly answerable to the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iran's military has been heavily involved in the Syrian civil war, fighting alongside the forces of Bashar al-Assad. Iran's military ambitions have caused considerable concern in the West, particularly their ballistic missile program. Iran claims that its missiles are purely defensive, but the United States and its allies fear that they could be used to target Israel or other countries in the region. And rounding out our list at number 10 we have Vietnam, a country with a long history of conflict and a formidable military tradition. With an active-duty force of around 482,000 personnel, Vietnam has the 10th largest military in the world. Vietnam's military is deeply rooted in the country's history. They fought a long and bloody war against French colonial rule, culminating in their victory at Dien Bien Phu in 1954. Then, of course, there was the Vietnam War, a decades-long conflict that pitted them against the United States and its allies. Despite facing overwhelming firepower, the Vietnamese people were able to achieve victory through a combination of tenacity and guerrilla warfare. Today, Vietnam is a rapidly developing country that's eager to put its tumultuous past behind it. They maintain a large and well-trained military, determined to defend their sovereignty and independence. So there you have it, folks, the top 10 countries with the largest armies in 2024. From China's massive People's Liberation Army to Vietnam's battle-hardened armed forces, we've covered a lot of ground today. Military strength is about more than just the number of troops or the sophistication of weapons. It's about a country's history, its geography, its economy, and its place in the world. As the world continues to evolve, so too will the global military landscape. But one thing is certain, military strength will remain a crucial factor in international relations for the foreseeable future.